Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Shokugeki no Souma, aka Food Wars, Chapter 111. Okay, and we finally learned the names of the rest of the staff here. Galway, she's the service manager, the one with the dark hair, and Lucier Hugo, she's the meat course chef because this restaurant they do the full course meal system where they have different courses, hors d'oeuvre and appetizer, and like different courses, and she's the chef for the meat course. Okay, so yeah, all right. Now the restaurant is about to open, but before the official opening, they have the pre-opening. Just one she to me is going to invite friends and like just invite people. All right, and this is important because this is like setting the stage for the opening. If something really bad happens in the pre-opening, word is going to get out, and the opening will the legit opening will probably fail. Okay, and though the restaurant will have a bad reputation before it even officially opens, and that's not good. Okay, so this pre-opening is important. All right, and to celebrate the completion of the pre-opening, assuming that everything goes well, Shinomiya says that the staff is going to have a contest where one of them gets to have an item added to the menu. Right now, I'm not gonna lie, I called that. Did I call that or what? Okay, what did I say? What did I say? I said that Souma was going to have an item added to the menu, and that would be his accomplishment for this training week. I called that nonsense, man. I called that crap. I called it, right? And it works out well, too. It works out well because at the end of this chapter, we see Souma saying he's going to become a major player in the kitchen. He's going to become a major player on this team in this restaurant, right? What better way to finally gain the acceptance of Abel than to defeat him and Lucier and Maui, all right, in this freaking contest, all right, or Galway, all right? What better way? So it works out that way, all right, and it'll probably happen. I'm hoping it does happen because I come up with theories all the freaking time, but it's not but because I have so many of them, my success rate ends up being low because I'm too good. I create too many theories. Okay, the more theories I get right, the better. People who watch my Parasite reviews know what I'm talking about. Too many theories. I have too many theories. All right, but anyway. I'm hoping it turns out that way because that would actually make a ton of sense the way things have gone so far. It actually makes a lot of sense. Right, now, as for this pre-opening during this week, as for the start of this arc and this chapter in general, I thought it was really freaking good. Okay, I loved the way this was done. All right, at first everything was going well for Souma, really. He was caught up with everything. He was preparing everything well. He was doing well. All right, but as time went on, things started to fall apart. Right, at first he was making too much noise, and it annoyed Shinomiya. He almost got kicked out the kitchen for it. Okay, apparently the way they work in Shino's restaurants is just quiet. Just complete quiet. That way they can hear all the changes going on in the food, all the sizzling and everything. And hear when something's ready or when something's wrong, or just hear everything, know everything, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, I watch Hell's Kitchen, and if there's anything I've learned from that show, it's that communication is important, and that silence it doesn't work. If anything, it's counterproductive, and it just makes you screw up more. All right, but whatever. Whatever. One is a reality competition TV show, and the other is a freaking manga. Alright, so I'm not neither of those is exactly the most reliable source, okay, but whatever. Whatever. Alright, it's not a big deal. Just thought I'd throw that in there. I'm just saying, alright. I don't really care that much. I just thought I'd mention it. Alright. But after the first strike, not the first strike, but the start of things going wrong and falling apart was that, clanging of the pots and stuff and making noise, all right? But after that, he starts to fall behind, okay? We end up learning here that he's too used to the family restaurant way of doing things, the way he would do things at Yukihira or at the last place, okay? That doesn't work here, All right, with the course system that this restaurant uses, you have to do things and think about things completely differently because in terms of timing, everything's different. You know, certain dishes for certain table, like the way it would usually work is an entire table gets their dishes at the same time, but here it's not that way. Different people at those tables have different eating speeds, and whenever the one person is done, then they get their plates sent back, and then they have the next course come, regardless of whether people are done or not. Okay, so it's like it's just so many things happening at once, and he just wasn't prepared for that. He just wasn't prepared for that. Okay, he ends up getting overwhelmed by it, and though he did a good job of hiding it, though he did get a good job of hiding it, though he has a good poker face. Um, he didn't freak out. Like, imagine what would happen if Megumi was in this situation. She would freak out. She would like, compared to what her reaction would be, Soma, he did pretty well. Because I would have expected him to react the way Megumi does sometimes, right? But well, it's not that I would have expected him to react that way, but that would have been a natural reaction in this situation. Right? So for him to be able to remain calm and accept that the things that they're telling him, it's not like it's not out of line because it's true. He did screw up. You know, for him to be able to keep calm and think about the situation, try to recover, like that's impressive. Right? He deserves credit for that. All right. But anyway, he does end up screwing up. He misses the deadline for one table's dish. Um, he thought that he would have had more time before the appetizer came back to finish the next course and then have that sent out, but he didn't. He didn't have time. So the dish wasn't finished by the time the appetizers came back, and then that just changed everything in the kitchen. All right, because as Soma and us, we all learned this year, that if one person in the kitchen makes a mistake, it ends up affecting everybody because they have to stop what they're doing in order to do what you were supposed to do. And then once you catch up, then they go back to what they were doing, and what they were doing should have been done by now too, but it wasn't done because they had to help you and make up for what you messed up. All right, so one person's mistake affects everybody. All right, and this mistake that Someone made, as I mentioned before, Abel especially wasn't pleased. He was just telling him, "You're not a member of this team. I don't think of you like that as at all. I think of you as nothing more than an intern, you know." And he was just like looking down on him, talking down on him, and making him feel trying to make him feel like crap, pretty much, and put him in his place, you know. And Galway, Lucier, they were like, dude, like Joe, kind of, yeah, he screwed up. Yeah, but he knows he screwed up. No reason to go this far. All right, but you know, he really doesn't like Soma. I think he says it's because. I mean, he says it's because he's nothing more than an intern and all this stuff. Um, then he ends up saying later in the chapter, it feels like he's trying to not just catch up to him, but also catch up to Shinomiya as well. And and he feels like it's insulting that Soma, despite the fact that he's all the way down here, would not only think that he's capable of catching up to Abel, but also Shinomiya. He thinks that that's insulting, especially since he views Shinomiya just so well, you know. His views of Shinomiya are really freaking high, and just like he clearly looks up to the dude, as we've figured out in the last chapter. So, I mean, he doesn't like Soma because he thinks he's too confident, pretty much. Not even confident, just arrogant. Like, and that's just Soma's personality. And we've gotten used to it, but for Abel, who's just now getting in, and he knows he's better than Soma, but Soma's acting like he's not only as good as him, but better than him, and just as good as Shooter. Like that, like that's ridiculous. Like, I don't blame Abel for not liking Soma because it makes perfect sense. It really is. Like, he's got pride, you know, and its pride is being insulted pretty much because of Soma's arrogance. You know, so it makes sense for Abel to not like him. Um, it also makes sense for Galway and Lucier to try and get him to be easier on Soma because men tend to have more pride in the sense that we are willing to do thing. We tend to be more extreme with our pride. So what I mean by that is women know how to swallow their pride more than men do. Us men, we we care so much about keeping our pride intact that we would sacrifice ourselves or put ourselves in situations where we could possibly be hurt from it just in order to keep our pride intact. Like we will hurt ourselves just to keep our pride intact. Like it's really freaking stupid, but that's just how we are. So it makes sense for this to be, you know, Soma and Shinamiya doing this and the girls trying to get him to stop, you know. It makes sense, but yeah. Everybody's got their flaws, you know. But back to the chapter. The rest of the chapter I already pretty much talked about. Abel tells me he's not a part of the team. Then Soma says he's not only going to become a member of the team, but he's going to become a major player on it. And you know, he finishes his dish and he's going to try and get things back on track now. Um, you know, I really enjoyed this. I really did. Um, I legit enjoyed this. I'll give the chapter. I will give this chapter. I'm stuck between two ratings. I'm really. I am. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Why not? Why not? Okay. I'll give it 9 out of 10. I was stuck between 8.5 and 9. I figured, screw it. I'll give it a 9. I'm in a good mood. Chapter gets a 9 out of 10. Okay, because I really do like the way that things started off well, but then just started crashing down. Plus, I like the fact that I was right in predicting that Soma could possibly get an item added onto the menu and have that be his way of passing the training week. So yeah, I'll give the chapter a 9 out of 10, and that's that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.